Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Wattpad Book Club. I'm your host Phoenix, and today I actually have a brand new guest on here, hopefully a regular. They've been in the Discord server playing Minecraft with me and the gang for a while and appearing in some streams. We got my good old friend HoneyBee in here.
Hi.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
Yeah, even though we're not using cameras and we have no idea what you look like.
Same difference.
Yeah, but it's nice to hear your voice and know you're real.
Thank you.
Yeah, even though I just played Repo with you on Saturday and I know you're a real person.
They don't need to know that.
Yeah. What, that you're not real? Are you a robot?
Inconclusive.
Oh my god, AI is taking over and this is gonna be the first one. But I'm glad to
be prepared for me to give you false information.
Oh my god, you're like the Google Gemini thing when I'm asking, like, is it okay if I eat rocks? And you're like, yeah, we recommend 2 small rocks a day.
It's because I source everything from Tumblr.
Yeah. Wait, did you actually see that they get all their sources from Reddit?
From Reddit?
Yeah, they apparently bought, like, a shit ton of, like, Reddit pages and whatnot. They have a deal with Reddit, so they just take information from Reddit and post it on their Gemini thing and pass it off as real information without fact-checking it.
I know at the beginning there was a lot of problems with it using Tumblr shit posts as factual information.
Oh, that's so funny. I know there was one where they used the Onion headline for credible information. I'm like, The Onion?
Not The Onion.
I'm like, that's notorious for being, like, not credible. Like, what the... You gotta do something about that, man.
Don't trust it.
Yeah. That's the moral of the story. I forgot how we should segue this, to be completely honest. We were talking about, like, such nice topics, and it's kind of hard to just be like, today, guys, we're gonna be reading about a horror fan fiction about 2 guys that were locked in a bathroom together.
Speaking of AI taking over the world, that's kind of horrific.
Yeah, and know what horrific is? Serial killers. And we're gonna be reading about possibly one of them. What is it? Fucking John Kramer's disciple, technically? His second disciple?
Not totally. He third.
Oh yeah,
4th.
You're right, third, because Mark I don't know, man. I gotta remember the timeline. I'm like that one dude with the fucking, what is it, like the bullet board with all the red string, like trying to tie it all together, and I'm like, it's connected! It all circles back together.
And then they throw it all off with the 8th movie.
Oh my god, don't remind me of the 8th movie.
You don't know what anything is anymore. Remind you of it?
Yeah, don't remind me, bro. That one sucks. Same with the 9th movie.
No, the 9th is good.
Nah.
I like the 9th.
Okay. It's okay to have wrong opinions. No,
okay.
It's okay. It's okay. You'll get through this. All right. But you know who's not gonna get through this?
Believe.
Adam.
Adam.
Our baby boy who got completely shafted.
Today he will.
Yeah. What, get shafted?
No, maybe. Today he will make it. He will make it out of this.
Yeah, we're watching a bunch of Saw movies as a marathon in the Discord server, which, by the way, you guys should join. It's very fun there. Anyway, during one of the movies, like, I think one of you guys asked the question of, like, does Lawrence come back? And I'm like, they don't get an answer for that until movie 7. And then I think it was you that was searching for an AU where Adam survived because he fucking dies. And you found this. A chain heart. It's an AU of a fanfiction where Lawrence actually did come back for Adam. And apparently there's supposed to be some gay yaoi in here, and I'm so fucking excited.
Yaoi time.
Yeah. And apparently while looking up more, because just out of curiosity, I think the canon, not really like canon, I guess like the fanon name for this ship is called chain shipping, because they were 2 guys chained to a pipe and whatnot. Very creative. I like it.
2 guys chained to a pipe.
3 feet apart because they're not gay. Well, I guess they are gay at this point.
I don't know. They might have been a little bit more than 5 feet apart.
maybe, like, it's gotta be, like, at least 2 feet.
At least 2.
At least 2. Probably, like, a good yard.
I don't know. I think it was at least more than an inch.
Yeah. Oh, like 2 human bodies separate from each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good measurement.
Yeah. It was 2 John Kramers apart.
2 John Kramers apart.
Yeah. This was a fan fiction by Ella Para, and I did skim, and I very much like the way this is structured, so I cannot wait to read this. Also, the tag gay love, I love that.
The tags on this are great.
Yeah. I think this is cross-posted on AO3. I don't know that for sure, but if it is, go support this person. Alright, I kept promise. Let me find my cool quarter. Alright. Do you want to be heads or tails to read first?
I want to be tails.
Alright. Shit, alright, you're reading first, homie.
Oh, damn. Okay.
What do you mean,
Okay.
damn?
I gotta remember how to read.
Me too.
Okay. Chapter 1. A Kept Promise. We're gonna be okay. I wouldn't lie to you. The doctor's words rang through Adam's ears for what seemed like days, but was probably just a few hours, and it fucking hurt. He plugged his ears in an attempt to stop the voices inside his head, but they only grew louder, bouncing off his temples and driving him to the brink of insanity. No, calm down, Adam said to himself in his mind. He promised he wouldn't lie to you. He's coming back. Adam lied down on the floor and tried to put his focus on the cold sensation of the tiles. Anything to stop thinking about the fact that he was probably going to die in there, alone. The bathroom floor sent shivers up his arms, and not due to this temperature he was trying to focus on, but because of the sticky sensation of Zepp's blood pooling across the room, seeping under Adam's skin. I kind of forgot he was just, like, dead in there.
Oh, I forgot too. I was like, what's sticky in there? That's gross.
He's just lying in a pool of blood. How fun.
Yeah, yippee!
He tried to ignore the fact that he'd killed a man because he most likely wouldn't have to live with himself very long. A low rumbling sound echoed off the porcelain walls, frightening Adam, until he realized it was just his stomach scolding him for the lack of food. He clutched at it. Oh, fuck. He clutched at his sides as if he couldn't shut it up. Oh my god.
It's okay.
He clutched at his sides as if he could shut it up, and in return ignore the hunger pain shooting through his entire body. He thought that even if he weren't chained to the floor, he still wouldn't be able to move due to the aches coursing through him. Despite the shivering and clattering of Adam's teeth, a layer of sweat was building up over his body. Either that or the pool of blood was growing. Probably both. The two body fluids mixed together, creating a putrid scent that tickled Adam's nostrils in a foul way. Bile rose in his throat, and he rolled over onto his side to let it out. Flipping over onto his back, he lifted his head slightly off the floor and let it fall back weakly a second later. Adam covered his face with his hands in defeat and let out a groan. He quickly opened his eyes because every time he closed them, all he could see were his bloody hands tearing at Lawrence's shirt as he left him. All he could hear was this promise to bring him back. Oh my fuck. To bring back help. But every time Adam glanced up at the clock on the wall, his faith in that promise diminished more and more. It was most probable that Lawrence was dead right on the other side of the door. Just the thought of that caused more nausea to roll through his stomach. Adam couldn't stand to be in there any longer. The silence, the stench, the loneliness. He couldn't handle it anymore. Using the little strength he didn't know he had left in him, Adam sat up. On his side, he caught sight of the saw that was still intact. His eyes darted back and forth from the blade to his ankle. The little imaginary devil on Adam's shoulder protested the idea immediately. No way, you can't do that. Adam ignored this, and before he knew it, he was already holding the spiked metal up to his skin. His hands were clammy and shaky as he gripped the handle with white knuckles. Each jagged edge lightly indented his skin, tickling his ankle as he hesitated to move. Adam squeezed his eyes shut and held his breath as he willed his arms to move on their own, but they didn't. Letting out the breath he was holding and opening his eyes, he threw the saw across the room in defeat. It clattered on the tiles and landed on the other end of the room, the blade dislodging from the handle. Now there is no way out of here. Way to go, Adam, he scoffed to himself. He couldn't bring himself to do it. Adam scolded himself for not being brave and strong like Lawrence was. Lawrence. God damn it. He needed to put him out of his mind, but he found it impossible. The flip of his blonde hair, his calmed him.
He's too busy thinking about his gay lover right now. Holy shit.
Too gay to think about cutting off his foot.
Yeah.
His reassuring comments that somehow worked even in that bathroom. His logic that combated against Adam's smartass qualities to make him an undeniable chemistry. These thoughts plagued Adam's head to the point where he shook it in an attempt to get them out, but they persisted and grew louder by the second. He found himself staring at the door, waiting for it to slide open with a squad of police spilling into it, reassuring him that Lawrence was okay and that John was locked up. Adam knew that this would not happen. He knew that Lawrence was most likely dead, that he was going to die there either from dehydration or malnourishment, that his corpse would rot in there for years on end until his bones eventually turned to dust. But nobody would even be aware of this. No family, no partner, no friends. Adam knew all of these things, but he couldn't accept them. In a fit of rage and fear, he began to scream. He knew nobody was there to hear him, but he screamed anyway. His cries for help reverberated off the walls and made their way back into his mouth. He could practically taste the stupidity in them, but he kept screaming anyway, until his throat was raw. Growing dizzy, Adam's eyesight faded into black as his body melted into the tiles.
Bro. Dude, Adam right now is like, Michael, don't leave me here! Michael!
Don't leave me here, Michael! Michael!
Help me! I love that even though he's going through all this shit, he's still like, oh my god, Lawrence with his blonde hair and the way it's swayed in the wind.
He flipped it. His sarcasm, it was so sexy.
Yeah, the way he screamed when he cut off his own foot. Oh my god. Sent chills.
Oh my god, that was so hot.
Yeah.
Okay. Lawrence was sobbing quietly, clutching at his leg in despair. His stump that was just a bloody, gaping wound was now closed and looked like a horribly cooked steak. Okay, gross. It hurt. It hurt beyond words, but he tried to stay quiet. He needed to escape, not just for him, for Adam. He promised him he would get help, so that's what he would do, or he would die trying. Lawrence began to drag himself down the dingy corridors, every inch excruciating. His ankle skimmed across the pavement along with his body. Although the cauterization slowed the blood flow, it wasn't good enough. He was slowly losing blood. His eyesight grew hazy and his head bobbed a million different directions. Lawrence crawled in a half-dead trance until he came upon a source of sweat was dripping from every single one of his pores, and he could barely keep his eyes open, but he crawled towards the faint glow in the distance, not knowing what it was. The closer he got, the colder he got. Soon, he was practically frozen. He had made it to the end of the hallway, and at an open door leading to the parking lot outside. Wind was slapping against his face, causing his eyes to water, decreasing his ability to see even more, but he kept crawling. The freezing black tar burned against Lawrence's skin, but he was soon relieved once he felt the grass brushing up against him instead of the chilled pavement. He made it to the side of the road. Lawrence laid there, waiting for a car to come by in the dead of night. To him, it felt like hours, but it was probably just minutes until a pair of headlights was blinding him. At first, Lawrence was stunned, but after shielding his eyes, he saw this was his only escape. Otherwise, he would bleed to death on the side of the road. With that thought in mind, Lawrence waved his arms and screamed, as much as he could at least. He feared that his pathetic excuse for a cry for help wouldn't be enough, but he would merely be seen as a silhouette in the night of roadkill or a fallen tree. Much to his surprise, the car started to slow and pull off to the side, stopping just shy of a few inches from him. Sounds of hurried shoes scraping against gravel echoed through Lawrence's eardrums as a man skittered out of the car in a panic towards him. Oh my god, the stranger choked, trying to hold in the contents of his stomach. Who the hell did this to you? Lawrence's teeth chattered as the wind and... Lawrence's teeth chattered with the wind, and he couldn't get more words out other than, "Help me, please." He lightly tugged on the man's pants at the ankles as if to cause more urgency. The kind stranger helped Lawrence off the ground and into his car. Without a second thought, he sprawled him out in the back seat and then ran to the driver's window, slamming the door shut in a hurry. Speeding towards the hospital, the man introduced himself. I'm David.
His name is
He
David.
looked into the rear. His name is David.
Everything's a FNAF reference.
He looked into the rearview mirror wearily, trying to find out how badly Lawrence was really doing. What's your name? Lawrence, the doctor muttered. Okay, good. The man still remembers his name. The driver relaxed at this notion. At least he was alright in a neurological sense. Hardly. Upon arriving at the hospital, the man exited the driver's seat and rushed around to Lawrence's door, quickly flinging it open. He was horrified at the scene in the back of his car. His once tan luxury leather seats were now stained red with blood, and Lawrence's skin was whiter than snow. It seemed that he fell asleep on the ride there. Reaching for Lawrence's shoulder, the man shook it. Let's go, he urged. He did not move. He shook him a little harder. Lawrence? His eyes stayed glued shut. David had gathered now that Lawrence's blood loss was so significant. He had lost consciousness. Shit! He breathed out, running his hands through his hair, glancing around the parking lot in a panic. David ran into the hospital, crying for help hysterically, immediately catching the attention of a doctor passing by in the lobby. What happened? The doctor gripped David's shoulders in an attempt to calm him down. He needed clear, concrete answers in order to help him. Are you hurt, sir? No, not me, David panted. There's a man in my car. He could barely work his mouth at this point. David did not understand why his hysterical reaction was taking place now. Maybe it was because it was possible there was a dead man in the backseat of his car. A man? What happened? Tell me what happened. The doctor pushed. David clutched at his chest as if to catch his breath. Just follow me. He ran as fast as he could back to his vehicle, the door still open for the doctor to clearly see the mess inside. Fuck! The doctor's reaction startled the both of them. Lawrence? He got... Wait, you know him? David pressed. Yeah, he's a doctor at the hospital. He was called in missing just a few hours ago. Suddenly, his eyes thinned with suspicion towards David, and he pushed him against the car. He pushed him against the car.
Oh my god,
moving
sexual?
His face close. Maybe. Moving his face close and speaking just below a whisper through gritted teeth. Where did you find him? David was stunned at the doctor's insinuation. You think I did this? After glaring at David for a few seconds, he roughly released him by pushing himself off of his arms. We don't have time for this. He paused before turning around. We'll talk about this later. The doctor ran back into the hospital. I need backup out here now. We need a stretcher, an IV, and an oxygen pack. ASAP. Okay. Water.
Plot? Yo, I can't believe we're getting 2 moments of yaoi in this one chapter. That's crazy.
Yeah, what's with David and this doctor?
Yeah, what's their story? I want to know. Who is David?
Need a fanfiction of this fanfiction about the doctor and David.
Oh my god. You're so right.
Lawrence woke up, and the first thing he thought of was Adam. Okay, gay.
Gay.
Adam. Fuck. You would say Adam and fuck in the same sentence. Fuck. He promised. Lawrence tried to sit up, but failed. It was only then that he realized how many contraptions he was hooked up to. Heart monitors, IVs, oxygen tubes. The beeping and pumping sounds were suffocating him. All these years of being a doctor, he never thought he would feel the fear of his patients. Lawrence began tearing at himself. He ripped his IV out, causing a small blood splatter to flow onto his sheets. He wiggled out of his oxygen mask, and the beeping of his monitor started to speed up frantically. Whoa. The doctor that had helped him earlier was at his bedside hooking him back up. Slow down there, Captain. He smiled down at him. Ron? Lawrence recognized him. Yeah, it's me. Lawrence tried to get up again. I need to get out of here. Hey, Ron stopped him, placing a hand gently on Dr. Gordon's chest. The smile on Ron's face was replaced with a look of concern and confusion. Buddy, you're on a lot of hard drugs right now. Wish that was me.
Yeah, me too.
You're seriously injured. You need to rest. Lawrence persisted. But I promised him. The doctor furrowed his brows. Promised who? Adam. Lawrence breathed, slipping back into a daze. His head fell to his pillow, and he stared up at the ceiling. I promised Adam. Ron saw his tears slipping out of Lawrence's eye and his lips quivering. Dr. Gordon was not just a coworker, but a friend. Laying his hand on his forehead, he probed him for answers. Adam? Who's Adam? Lawrence's answers were vague, not getting him anywhere. He was in the room with me, he muttered, barely audible. The room? What room? Ron was getting impatient. He wanted help, but couldn't. He wanted to help, but couldn't. David interjected nervously from behind, remembering that the doctor silently accused him of his friend's demise. I think I know where he is talking about. Ron turned his head to face David, shooting him a weary look, but nodding his head, indicating that he continue. I found him on the side of the road like this on my way home. There's no way he could have crawled far in that state. The building he is talking about must be just near where I picked him up. Ron knew that David was right, but he did not want to admit that to him. Okay, they are gay, what the hell? He stiffly nodded. Alright, okay, let's go, take me there. Turning back to Lawrence's bed, he grabbed his hand and comforted him. We're going to try and find your friend, Adam. Okay? Lawrence gently squeezed his hand in acknowledgement, and he heard him and whispered, please, bring him back. I promise.
Oh my god, this is the gayest shit I've ever read.
Real.
There's a lot of gayness happening in this one room.
The doctor and Lawrence have chemistry. The doctor and David had chemistry. Lawrence is thinking about Adam.
Yeah. Everyone's gay
like
here.
It's like a square.
Yeah. It's a square and then all the lines are connecting to like each one across the ways and all that shit. Who's to say that when Adam actually does get out of the room and goes to the hospital for like malnourishment that Ron doctor won't be hitting on him? Who knows?
Oh my god. Wait, that probably will happen.
Yeah.
I believe.
What's this next chapter called? Safe. Alright, thank God, he's safe. The sun was just starting to peek over the trees, lining up the road that David was driving back down. Ron sat in the front passenger seat, visibly uncomfortable. You guys didn't call the police?
Wait, seriously?
I'm assuming not.
They're just gonna like walk into this house and like get murdered immediately or something.
Yeah, like your coworker and friend just was reported missing. Shows up a few hours ago without a leg. Well, actually, a foot. And you guys are just gonna go by yourself on a solo mission? I mean, you do you, chief, I guess, like.
I bet you 2 pennies that they die.
David's gonna fucking die, I could call it now. He's gonna get hit by a car while getting his ball.
Real.
Alright, man, what's up? David said, cutting the bullshit. He was expecting another rude tangent about how this was his fault, and that he was probably doesn't even know where he's going. But much to David's surprise, Ron's voice was timid and heartfelt. I'm just worried about Lawrence, Ron said, placing a hand over his forehead. He's a good friend of mine. I could tell, David replied coolly, trying to keep the calm dynamic they had going. Ron fumbled his words. He's gay for him. He's gay for Lawrence.
Real?
Yeah.
And David's gay for him.
Yeah. Everyone's gay for each other. It's gonna be some one big-ass polyamorous relationship. Ron fumbled his words. How do we even know if this Adam character's real? I mean, how? How do we even know about this room is real? Lawrence was drugged and practically hysterical. We should be back at the hospital with him, not off searching for some make-believe fairy tale person. Okay, that's kind of fucked up. But anyway. David had to stop and think over for a second, tapping on his steering wheel to fill the gaps of his thoughts. No, he decided. It's real, alright? I mean, his foot's missing. How'd you think that happened? Ron scoffed, turning his head and motioning wildly to the red stains in the back of the car. Oh really? Look how much blood he lost. You think he knows what he's talking about? The doctor tapped his temple for emphasis, indicating that David wasn't using his head properly. David did not appreciate the negative tone that was building. He was lucid, he yelled, waiting a few beats before speaking again. I checked, he muttered, embarrassed of his outburst. Ron was becoming increasingly sarcastic. Oh, you checked! Well, isn't that wonderful? I mean, for a minute there, I thought we had a better chance of finding Bigfoot than this Adam character. But oh, you checked! Now I'm sold. What a relief. David had enough. You know what, man? Fuck off. I saved your friend. If it wasn't for me, he'd be dead, so I think a thank you would be nice. Oh my god, this is like, it's gonna be enemies to lovers. I can already see it.
It is. It's so good.
I could already see it. It's gonna be like they're staring at each other, like, with hate in their eyes, and then they're just gonna make out with that one image on Twitter. That's like the really bad mouth open kissing. Ron stared at the window, saying nothing. Finally, he got impatient. You know what, David? I think it's time we turn around. Head back to the hospital. No need, David replied smoothly, pulling the car into the park. We're here. They both exited the vehicle, David immediately making his way over to a small puddle of blood in the gravel. David was soon by his side. Oh, Daniel. Fuck. Ron. Every name's here. This is where you found him? He said wearily. Yep. David popped his lips with the pee and rub in the correctness. Looking across the parking lot, he saw a building and pointed at it. This must be where that room... This must be where the room is that your friend was talking about? David and Ron locked eyes, waiting for confirmation from each other to advance. Ron nodded. This was it. They knew they needed to have each other's backs despite their differences. Making their way to the front door, David cautiously pressed it open. Oh my fucking god. Ron shivered at the sight. A large, thick, red line painted the cement all the way down the corridor. Lawrence's blood. It was everywhere. Ron knew with full confidence that David was right, and David was trying not to get a big head over it. Well, follow the yellow brick road, I guess, he shrugged meekly. Oh, shut up. Ron slapped? Oh, he did? Okay. So this is abusive yaoi. It's like toxic Yuri, but the boy version.
It's like physical banter.
Yeah. Ron slapped David lightly on the back of the head. Slowly advancing, they made their way to the end of the blood trail and met a dead end. The bathroom door. Ron tried to pry it open. Damn it! He bellowed. It's locked. Please tell me it's just like a key is just like right next to it, just like for a door with like an arrow point next to it.
I still don't know why they haven't like called the police yet, bro.
Yeah, like you need at least alert them like, hey, by the way, Dr. Gordon, he showed up at the hospital. He's been found. Click. At least do that.
Oh yeah, he was missing too, wasn't he? And his foot is missing. Like I feel like we need to call someone.
Yeah. Also, his family's technically missing too because they were kidnapped for a short while. There's a lot going on.
They escaped now.
Yeah, but
They escaped already.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. We literally never see them again in the franchise. I forgot. David tried to tear it open as Ron watched them fail. Hey, glass half full, he mocked. It's fucking locked. L-O-C-K-E-D. Locked. You know what? David's last straw was pulled. He finally stopped pulling at the door and to shove her on. Your friend didn't make up Adam. I could feel it. David was seething now. If my best friend wanted me to find someone, I wouldn't give up. He stopped to catch his breath and leaned in close. You're a coward. Letting go and looking back at the door, he continued. Now, I'm 99% sure there's someone trapped in here, and you can either show some compassion, or just go. There's the door, bitch. Ron stayed still as a stone in his place. Right. David sized him up. Do you have a phone? Ron didn't budge. Snapping his fingers, David prompted, Hello? A phone? Do you have one? Yeah. A phone? Yeah. Ron fumbled, patting his pockets awkwardly. David motioned for him to hand it over and immediately swiped it from him, calling 911. Thank God.
Finally, thank you.
Yeah. Adam at the end is gonna be like, thank you for saving me. I was so thirsty. Hello? Yes, I think we found a possible victim of a jigsaw case. Ron stared at David in confusion, still listening but not understanding what was going on. I'm very sure. Pause. Yes, there's blood. A lot. Pause. David was beginning to look stressed. Address? Shit, we're in a warehouse-looking building on 143 Greenway Street. Oh, and bring tools, like, to unlock stuff. Ron squinted his eyes at David, mocking his choice of words. Yeah, you'll need, like, chain cutters and things. David continued, shaking his head. Okay, yeah, we'll stay put away here for the officers. Thank you, sir. David finished off and hung up. What the hell was that? Ron squinted at him. What do you mean? A jigsaw case? He air quoted. What are you, some kind of detective? No, I just watch the news. Well, I don't. What is that? The way it's phrased is like, what is the news? Like,
The news?
yeah, I don't know what that is. I only watch PBS Kids.
I watch Cartoon Network, actually.
Yeah, and Disney Channel, those are my shit. I don't know what this Fox News and CNN is. You gotta explain that a bit more. David chose his words carefully. He's this guy who sets traps. Traps? You mean like for rats? No, David sighed. He likes to kidnap people. People who he thinks that have done wrong in some way or another. He paused, seeing if Ron was following. Then he puts those people through tests, games. Most people don't survive. But Lawrence did. Ron breathed in disbelief. He didn't believe it. Yeah, just barely. David looked down at the blood trail. Do you think you know why he was put in here? What did he do wrong? Ron was blunt about it. He cheated on his wife. Wow. David whistled. Jigsaw's tough. No one's tougher than Larry. The dude's got an iron heart. Who the fuck's Larry?
I forgot Larry was Lawrence. Larry's
I was like, who the fuck is this third character?
Who's Larry?
Yeah. Clearly, David nodded in agreement sadly. But not so much Adam, I guess. Nope. Ron stared up at the ceiling. I guess not. Oh my god, time skip. They're finally rescuing my poor Hitman.
Finally.
Cops were pouring into the building. There were too many to count. Ron and David were dumbfounded. They didn't know the Jigsaw case was taken this seriously. It's a fucking serial killer. What do you mean? This is like if you called saying that Jeffrey Dahmer did something. Of course, like, people are gonna show up.
They obviously don't think much about crimes happening, because it took that long for them to call the police in the first place.
Yeah, they actually live in Detroit. That's why the crime rates are so high that they just, like, pass a blind eye to it.
Is there actually a canon location of the Jigsaw? No.
That I do not know. I could look it up later and see if there is. I mean, like, that, Saw 7, like, that first opening is in a major city, like, in public.
An unnamed city in the United States.
Yeah, and somewhere in there. I know it's specifically in the 10th movie. The whole set takes place in a place in Mexico. I think they do name drop it, but it is in Mexico. Yeah. Yeah, Jigsaw branching out.
What's going on in Saw 10?
Yeah, I can't say. I haven't watched it. We can watch it after this, though.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, if I can get Amazon working on my computer, we can watch it.
Perfect.
Move! An armed policeman screamed. The two men skittered awkwardly out of the way, making room for them to come through. One officer pulled out some dangerous-looking contraption that had been the chain-cutting tool. In one stiff movement, he swung the door open while the rest of the cops swarmed into the bathroom. Guns held up and ready to fire just in case. Flashlight beams floated around, checking out the scene cautiously. Curiosity got the best of David. He tried to enter, but was immediately stopped by one of the officers who opened the door. Whoa there, you're not going in there! Neither of you! He finished, looking at Ron. Ron put his hands up in a mocking surrender. There was no way he wanted to enter that shithole. No Jigsaw, but we got our eyes on 2 bodies, sir. 2 bodies? Oh, I forgot about Zep.
Again.
I was like, Jigsaw's still sitting there in his own pool of blood? That's crazy.
I wish it was Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Someone needs to get him caught.
Yeah. The same officer blocking the door replied. David gathered that he was the boss here. What's the status? He yelled impatiently. One of them's definitely dead, sir. He replied squeamishly. His brains are all over the floor. And the other one, the bossy pants, was getting annoyed. I can't tell, sir. He could be dead or unconscious. Well, what do you bozos check? I love the word bozos. He spoke again under his breath. How did any of you pass the police exam? One of the officers approached Adam's body. Wait, what? What were you saying?
We know that the police in this town, suck.
Yeah. Especially during the 9th movie, man. They fucking suck.
Hurry up. Someone needs to fix this system.
Yeah. Who is it better than Jigsaw? Or that apprentice guy that I forgot the name of in the 9th movie?
I forgot his name too.
Yeah. Hurry up, chicken, someone teased from behind. The policeman snapped his neck around. I never touched a dead body before, okay? Back off! Turning around, he laid a gentle hand on Adam's shoulder, not realizing in the weak light that he was pressing on a bullet wound. Oh shit. And his body jolted in surprise, scaring the officers. Someone yelled, "He's alive, sir!" I also forgot that Adam got shot. I forgot that was a canon event.
Yeah, he's just been, like, bleeding out for however long he's been in here.
Yeah, it's been there for so long that, like, his body has actually, like, formed a scab over the bullet hole, so it's just chilling in there. Everyone's voices sounded far away to Adam, underwater. He was delirious and panicking. The flashlights in his eyes to him were not those of saviors, but of Jigsaw and his pawns preparing experiments on him, torturing him. Adam screamed out for help, shooing the officers away. Trying to, at least. He was so weak that he could barely wrap his hand around their arms, grabbing and swatting lightly at the air. He sobbed to be left alone. What's wrong with him? What do you mean, what's wrong with him? Man, oh my God. This guy's delirious. He's only been down here for God knows how long without food or water. Or light.
He's chained to a pipe and he has a bullet hole in his shoulder.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. Send him to the fucking, padded room.
Send him to the ward.
Yeah. Send him to Rikers. The head officer pushed through the circle of men surrounding him. I don't know, sir. The one who woke up Adam stuttered. He just started screaming. The boss leaned down, evading Adam's space and shining his flashlight right over him. Adam's eyes crinkled and his hand shot up at the fence. He groaned louder and waited, begging for them to stop. This guy's been shot, dumbass. I'm glad someone on this fucking police force has eyes. Holy shit.
Yes.
The officer stood up, shouting
one
beam on the other man's faces purposely. And his blood's over your hand. God, you're all incompetent. You, he pointed at someone randomly. Go out of the parking lot and tell EMTs to bring down the stretcher. He leaned back down. He took on a completely opposite tone with Adam than he did with the men. Hey, you're gonna be alright, champ. You made it this far. Oh my god, it's like Gordon Ramsay.
Maybe I like this guy.
Yeah.
Am I in love with this guy?
Oh my god, you're in love with the fictional character.
Me and him.
Yeah.
me and the cop.
No, I can dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can take Lawrence, and then you take this random police chief.
I'll take him and Adam.
Okay, no, that's a fair trade. Oh my god, and they're already getting along with each other just fine.
Yeah, perfect.
Please don't hurt me. Adam shuddered on the floor. Please. He choked out with a sob. Just leave me alone. Hey, we're not here to hurt you, bud. He placed a hand on Adam's sweaty forehead to feel his temperature burning hot. Shit, he muttered under his breath. Hey, we're here to save you, okay? He tried to reassure Adam. He wasn't having it, burying his face in his hands, crying. Just kill me. I won't do what you want me, so just kill me. Do you know who I am? He was preparing a reality check, speaking like he told a toddler. I'm a police officer. I'm here to help you. He spoke slower and slower. What's your name, young man? Adam just folded into himself more and more, begging for mercy. The stretcher was now beside Adam, and the two medics were lifting on him. I don't want to rush you guys. The officer spoke to them. Fuck, what does that say? Hastily? Good enough. But the kid...
Wait, oh fuck. Haughtily.
Haughtily. I don't even know what that word means. But the...
It's like a... Haha, I'm better than you.
Oh, gotcha. But the kid feels like he just came out of the fucking oven. I think he doesn't even know his own name. Thank you, officer, but we'll take it from here, one of the medics politely replied. I didn't begin to fight against the EMTs. Let me go! Get off me! I won't do another game, I won't! Jesus. When the medics gruntled. Why are they so fucking mean to this Jigsaw victim? Like, holy shit.
Like, he's obviously been through a traumatic event. Why are y'all, like, peeved with him?
Yeah, like, this guy's crazy. Were they like this with other Jigsaw victims that survived, like Amanda? Or like...
No.
They were
so nice.
Yeah, I remember in the police scene when they're like, just tell us what happened. Just take your time. Here's some water. Like, super nice, like tabs.
What they're
whatnot.
supposed to be like.
Yeah. You know, consoling a victim of a horrible crime. One of the medics gruntled as they both strained to strap him down. After getting him safely secure onto the stretcher, they loaded him up into the ambulance as he cried to be released. 5 minutes into the drive to the hospital, he was out cold. Oh my god, please tell me they put him in the same room with Lawrence, please.
Nah, no way, no way, no way.
At least, like, have, like, the curtain divider between the two.
Ooh.
The medics wheeled Adam into the surgery immediately. After attending to his bullet wound to make sure his vitals were stable, one of the surgeons approached Ron, who was waiting outside the operation. So, the kid's gonna be alright. Awkward silence. You didn't think he was real? The surgeon pressed. I don't want to talk about that. Ron stared down at the floor. It was ridiculous how fast gossip got around the workplace. Yeah, David probably was like, can you believe that this guy said that that Lawrence was fucking lying to him, his best friend? The one that I found and saved?
David was right.
David, a real one. David should be the doctor.
Yes. Give David a promotion right now.
Yeah. Put him to fucking healthcare CEO. He's in charge of that now.
Yes, he'd be better at it.
Yeah. Right. Well, he's stable, so you can wheel him down to Larry whenever you want. He's out like a light on this sedative, though, so he won't be awake for a few hours. At least, like, the first thing Adam's gonna see is Lawrence, knowing that, like, hey, this is real and he's gonna be okay. and not still in a basement bathroom.
Someone please reassure that man. He's gonna wake up crying.
Yeah. Alright, thanks, he replied sheepishly, patting him on the back as he walked past him and towards Adam's room to retrieve his stretcher. Ron wheeled the bed slowly through the halls, approaching Lawrence cautiously. He was embarrassed about his lack of confidence in his best friend's judgment. Hey, Tiger, Ron spoke softly, grabbing Lawrence's attention as he lined up Adam's bed next to his. I fucking called it!
Yeah.
His head snapped around. Once he saw who was put before him, tears rimmed his eyes as he breathed out a sigh as he was holding ever since he left the bathroom. Adam.
Here come the waterworks.
Oh my god. I love the way that they spell friendship from the next chapter.
Oh.
It's like friends and then dash and then ship with like these gaps in between. I wonder if that's symbolism for anything that's gonna happen. But we won't find out this time. But I'm very pleased with this fanfiction.
Oh, it's really good. I'm invested in the side characters too.
Yeah, I was like theorizing how they would tie this together, because I know in canon, Lawrence gets saved by John and becomes like apprentice behind the scenes that even the other apprentices don't know about. So I thought like he would come back, save Adam, still work under John, but keep it away from Adam. Like even John doesn't know that Adam's alive or some shit like that. And then also Adam doesn't know.
This might be pre-movie 7, like pre-movie 7 release.
Oh, you're right. Shit. What's the year when this was released?
Do we know? I don't know who
Shit.
had.
Wait, I got this. If my phone's gonna load. Okay. Fuck. Operating on the phone is really hard. Okay. The last time this was updated with the first part was on February 5th, 2018. I don't remember when Saw 7 came out.
Saw 7 came out in 2010.
Okay.
So
they had they had all the source material.
To ignore it.
Yeah. Or maybe you'll come in later where John approaches Lawrence.
Maybe they only watched the first movie.
Yeah. Honestly, I can see that happening. I see a lot of good fanfiction come over just like they watch a movie and they're like, that's it. I'm stopping it here. I'm gonna make up the rest.
Yeah. It's important to ignore canon.
Yeah. I know, oh, fuck, what was it? Oh yeah, the fanfiction I'm reading with Jolene is a Bow-Ouija fanfiction based off of the movie, but it was only when the trailer was announced before the actual movie came out, and this person wrote an entire fanfiction about it. And it was beautiful.
The best ones are like
But I'm super excited to see where the story goes and whatnot. I'm not that much into horror besides the Saw franchise, so I'm excited to see what this author does with the canon characters plus these newly added ones and work them in and whatnot.
I do hope they stick around.
Yeah. I do also hope that they at least I hope this is a slow burner. I didn't see how many chapters there were of this, but I just hope get to know each other like a little bit, establish them as friends that trauma bonded about a jigsaw trap a little bit. And then you see Lawrence abandoning his wife and kid to go sleep with Adam. Let's go.
They were gonna get divorced anyway.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. They were not good for each other.
No, yeah. I do feel bad. I do feel bad for Lawrence with his daughter.
Yeah, she was so cute. I think she did pretty good acting for 2002.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But honey, thank you so much for joining. I highly appreciate it. And whatnot. Was there anything
Thank you for having me.
You would like to shout out during this?
No.
Okay. Alright, well thank you guys for watching. There's a playlist on screen with all the other Wattpad Book Club readings I've done in the past with other people as well. Honey will be added to there, so check it out. And then on screen is the last Wattpad Book Club reading that was uploaded, which I think is the Bow-Ouija fanfiction. So, check that out if you haven't. It was pretty fucking good. But anyway, my name is Phoenix, that was Honey, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye!